Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And I know some of you have already sent in questions. So I have a really special guest today, and we're so lucky. Amanda Jenner has joined us today. So I'm just going to let Amanda introduce herself.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me. My name's Amanda, and I'm a toilet training and toddler expert. I've been doing this for 20 years now. So I cover everything from getting your little one to go on the toilet to getting rid of the nappies. I cover food. I've got lots of tips and tricks that I put up daily on my Instagram to help you. So yes, I'm really looking forward to answering all your questions today.
Thank you, Amanda. So today we're actually going to be talking about all things toilet training. Now, Amanda, you're the expert. I hold my hands up. We obviously have done a lot of it at the nursery, but you have so many amazing resources, which I know we're going to talk about later. So can we just get started with some questions?
Of course.
We've had an outpouring from your followers and from ours. And the first question is, how do I know my child is ready? What are those signs of readiness to look for?
Okay, so that's a really good question. Really important that we see those signs as well before we start. We can't just force a child into this because it just won't work. So the signs of readiness are stopping in their tracks. So when they're actually filling their nappy, they're looking down and they're realizing that they're actually doing something, and recognizing their bodily functions is really a really good start. Insisting on getting that nappy off and changed when it's soiled, that's a really good sign as well. You know, not all children can speak at potty training age, but if they can, it helps. Able-bodied children as well. So saying wee and poo, so, you know, putting those words together, keep them short, and, you know, showing an interest as well. So, you know, that they're starting to hide when they're doing a poo behind the sofas or behind the curtains. And showing an interest in mummy or daddy going to the toilet as well is a really good sign. So when they're showing those key signs, it's really good to start educating them a week before you start.
Okay, so they don't have to be doing all of these things,
no,
right? Just some of them, because every child is slightly different.
Every child is slightly different. So just even if they're showing a few of them, then it's a really good time to start. Don't put it off for months because you might miss that window.
Once you've decided, how do they go about it? Do they go with clothes on? Do they use a toilet? Do they use a potty? How do you move forward?
Definitely clothes on. I'm not a believer of taking the clothes off. I know there's the old wives' tale, and the grandparents used to say, take the pants off, let them run around. This is not an everyday real life situation. Your children have to wear clothes. So the only thing you're doing there is if you take their clothes off and leave them naked, as soon as you put the pants on, they're going to have an accident because they get mixed up and they think that those pants are a pull-up because they've been in them a long time. So straight to big girl, big boy pants, definitely 100% clothes on, loose clothes. So jogging bottoms. Let's not have all denim buttons and dungarees. Something they can get off very quickly, really important. You'll be fine in Dubai because you've got the beautiful weather. So it's not like us here in the UK. I always recommend a potty to begin with because you can keep it in the room they spend most of their time. Because when your child starts potty training, they have very little notice. So they need to be able to get to it very quickly. So, and it's at their level and it teaches them to independently go. So a potty is always a good one. But if your child doesn't like the potty, then you can use a toilet trainer seat. I normally buy both at the beginning, so you've got the choice because they do switch between the two. So definitely start with a potty, but have a toilet trainer seat there in case.
When you start doing it, what a lot of parents say to me is, oh, I've got a week off work, so I'm going to have 5 days at home. Do you recommend that you stay at home for a week maybe to begin with?
No.
Or are we in the real world where we can't always do that?
No, we've got to get in the real world. Now, the first day, yes, because I'll go into rewarding and stuff like that in a minute. But the first day, it's good to be at home because you're finding your feet as a parent and you can pick up on what they do and don't like doing with the whole potty training. But then on the second day, third, fourth and fifth, then I like you to venture out for small trips. I'm not saying go for a 2-hour drive.
Yeah.
Small trips down to the park, take the potty with you, just little small trips. But staying in isn't the real world. So we need to get them confidently going in and out the home. That's really important.
Yeah, I always used to, if I was going out as well, I'd go somewhere where I know there's toilet facilities that are quite close by, or like you become very aware of your environment, I
Yeah.
think, when you're toilet training children.
Yeah, you do, definitely.
So, yeah. How do you manage accidents? So we always say to parents as well, especially when they've had children that are quite newly toilet trained, and then they come into nursery and it's a new environment, and they might sometimes regress a little bit, where they'll have more accidents than normal. Would you suggest putting them in nappies or back into nappies or a pull-up in case they have an accident? Or would you say, no, we continue, start as we mean to go on?
Now that really does depend, because if you've started potty training, you're on day 2 or 3 and they're just literally having 20 accidents a day, that screams to me they're not quite ready.
Yeah.
So in that situation, you see the child's going to get stressed. You as a parent will get stressed, and they pick up on everything. So if they're having continuous accidents, you've been doing it 3 days, they're just not getting it, then I would go back to nappies for a couple of weeks, but still keep educating them, still keep the potty there in the background.
Yeah.
But if they're just having the odd accident, please don't go and stick on a pull-up, because you're going to confuse them. And the biggest tip I can give any parent is consistency is the biggest thing here, and you have to keep it consistent. They're going to have accidents. They've been in their nappy all their life for 2-3 years. They're not used to asking, remembering, stopping what they're doing, and I need to go for a week. They get very short notice. Expect accidents in the first couple of days or the first week. But I'm talking lots of accidents, then they're not ready.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And for us, we always say the same thing, and we work in partnership. So when parents come to us and go, oh, it's time to start toilet training, that's great. We will do it with you. We always say we can't do it for you, because we need to have the same message at home and at nursery. So yeah, definitely on the same page. Another question we've had from one of our parents is, do you have any tips for nighttime toilet training? Parents are asking, when's the right time? Do we need to wait for certain signs like a dry nappy or something like that?
Yeah, so nighttime, I get asked this a lot. So I get the parents that they say, right, we're in week 1, we've done the daytime, now I'm going to take the nap off at night. Absolutely don't do that. Okay. We need to have a really good 4 to 6 weeks of them really trained in the day, no accidents. Nighttime is tricky because obviously they're asleep. And it can be, it can be up to 5 or 6 and still having accidents. So it is very common. But some tips I will give you here is, yes, if they're waking up in the morning and the nappy's more dry, then that is a good sign that they are managing to hold on. We need to reduce liquids. Now, I have so many parents say they still go to bed with their bottle or their drink. They're not going to get dry at night. Even us as adults, which has a very strong bladder, we still have to get up in the middle of the night. We'll have half a litre of drink before we go to bed. So we have to reduce the liquids an hour before bedtime. This also includes fruit, because fruit contains a lot of liquid as well. So we need to reduce that down. No fizzy drinks, no hot chocolates, no sugary drinks, because that will make them go more. So that's a really good tip. Making sure in the day as well that they're having, not just a quick wee for a second and jumping back up, emptying their bladder. A lot of parents say, how do we know that? Well, you can see how much they're actually weeing during the day. So lots of fresh water during the day. Keep exercising the bladder and making sure they go properly in the day. But nighttime, we need a nice little night light as well, because children are scared of the dark, a lot of them. Nice night light where they can see. I'm not adverse to leaving the potty in the room, so it gives them the choice. But definitely wait for that dry nappy before you start. Otherwise, it will just be a disaster, because they'll have lots of accidents. They get really upset by it, and it actually can make them regress in the day as well.
Yeah, no, that's great advice. That's exactly what I did with my son as well. And we soon learned where his cutoff point was on a night to have liquids. And like you say, it was about an hour before. And it would also, like, if they start having wet accidents, it can make them quite sore and a bit uncomfortable. So yeah, definitely what Amanda said does work. I've just had a parent message me now, and she wanted to know, is it any different for boys or girls? Like, is there a different time? And about them standing up and using the toilet as well sometimes.
But there's always this myth that boys are lazier than girls. And as I said, I've potty trained thousands of children all over the world, and I've seen no difference. Obviously, they've got extra things that we have to be aware of, but apart when they're sitting on the potty, just make sure they're sitting back and everything's tucked down. That's the only difference. And what I would say is teaching them. I get a lot of parents say, "Oh, my husband wants them to be a boy and stand up." Now, this is really difficult because they're learning how to use the toilet or the potty.
Yeah.
They've got to then remember to hold on and do it standing up. It all ends up down their legs and everywhere, and they get upset. There's no rush for that. Let them sit down, let them get the hang of it, and then eventually they will start doing that. It comes as a natural process, but don't force it when they're starting on potty training. And boys, no different from girls. Every child is different. And touching on that as well, we get a lot of parents that do compare to their friends' children. Don't compare, because we're all individuals and we all learn at different rates. And it's exactly the same with potty training.
I know my son, he's 4 now, and he has just started wanting to stand up because he's seen his friends do it at school.
Yeah,
and that's it. Like, oh no, I like to sit down.
A bit messy. I know. I have also got a couple of questions as well.
Yeah, go for the questions.
One person here is saying that he just doesn't want to sit and do at all. So how do you get them to sit? Now, this is a really good tip. It's using a distraction box. So it's all on my Instagram anyway, but using a distraction box is really good. So if they don't want to sit, what you've got to do is get away from them. I don't want to sit, and all the tantrum comes out. And get some bubbles out and get them to sit down and blow some bubbles on the potty or the toilet. You've got to use tools to get them to relax. I use this distraction box with my little trainers. Put two little things in there, not too many things, and just get that out just for potty time, and it just gets them to just relax. That's what's important. Someone said she's got a event is delayed, not showing any interest at all. Now, this I get asked this a lot, and I've potty trained children with autism and Down syndrome, and it can be done, which is great news. But obviously it takes a little bit more patience. So using flashcards, which we've sold out of at the moment, but you can make them yourself as well. So using flashcards with visuals, really, as you know, being a principal at the nursery, that children really, they're like sponges. And if you show them a picture, they understand a picture more than you telling them what to do, because they can visually see something and see the action. Now, you can download a wee and a poo emoji. Contact me on Instagram and we'll email it to you. But basically, to show them a wee and a poo. So I had a little child who couldn't speak at all, but when he wanted a wee, he held up the wee, and when he wanted a poo, and it was like a game, and he really enjoyed it. So showing them visuals is a really good way of teaching them. And using a visual above the toilet or the potty, washing hands. So little cards will really help. They're really good to use for that. Someone's saying the same again. So your little one's 21 months, doesn't show any signs. Well, I'd say they're not ready at all yet. 21 months is still diddy. It's still little. Don't rush, but more than happy for you to start educating them. I'm a great believer, going back to the resources now.
Education.
It's education. So, we decide, as we say, some parents say, right, I'm not ready, or my child's starting today because I want to do it today. We can't have that attitude with potty training. So what we need to do, educate us as adults so we know what to do and what to expect. And educating your little one is really important as well. So start reading some books. We've got it all in the potty training pack, which is now available in Dubai. And inside this, it's got a beautiful storybook. So I like you to read that a week before you start potty training. We've also got an app which brings the book to life. So it makes it more fun. This is what's really, really important. And this is the way I approach potty training as an expert. No child wants to come to you and say, I want to be potty trained. It's a life skill we have to teach our children. And the best way to do it is to do it the fun way. I'm a great believer of seeing everything through the toddler's eyes. So we need to make it fun to encourage them. So reading a book a week before, showing them the pictures, then going back over the book and picking stuff out the book's really good. That's really good. And it's all in here. We've got stickers, the app, and we've got a lovely magic reward box as well. So rewarding, a lot of parents have asked about that. I'm a great believer of rewarding for it because it encourages your little one to want to do it. And as I say, children don't really want to do it, but they have to do it. So I use stars. So we print the name on the stars, they cut the stars out, they get 1 wee in the magic box, 1 for a wee and 2 for a poo. And stars equal prizes. So then we wrap up little prizes and sit them next to here, sit them on the shelf, and then they have to gain that amount of stars. This is brilliant because it's the element of surprise. It's making it again. They're counting as well. We're teaching them to count. And then we get this down a couple of times a day saying, oh, how many stars have we got in the box? oh, we haven't got any, what do we have to do? So it's prompting them using the language as well. So you're prompting them rather than, do you want to wee? Do you want to poo? Do you want to wee? They get sick of it. So we can use the stars for this. Then I've got my book, Potty Training Magic. So it's got all my 20 years experience in here. It's available on Amazon and I think in Dubai now as well. So it's just got all the do's, the don'ts, the signs of readiness. It's really good to read this before you start, because then you start thinking, actually, I have noticed my son or daughter is doing that. It tells you how to prepare yourself, and it's got a day-to-day step of how to do it. We've also got regression, constipation, and I've got some recipes, smoothies to eliminate constipation as well, and some little toddler food bits, because it's important we give our children the right food as well when we're potty training, to avoid constipation, because if they become constipated, they can have wee accidents as well. So that's there, and plenty of other books available as well, not just mine.
Amanda's.
Yeah, not just my book, but obviously it is the best.
Thank you. I think you give us some really brilliant and practical advice as well, you know, something that everybody can take on board and find more about. So you mentioned Instagram. So I know you've got a couple of Instagram handles. Can you just share those with us?
Yeah, so mine's Expert Amanda Jenner. So I do weekly lives and lots of tips. So I cover everything to do with the toddler. So it's Expert Amanda Jenner. So if you follow me and you want to ask me a private question, just give me a couple of days, because I get hundreds, but I'm more than happy to answer. If you want, you obviously don't want to do it publicly, that's fine. We've also got My Carry Potty as well. So and it's Mina at My Carry Potty, and we've got My Carry Potty UK, which has got all the equipment that you need to start potty training. But also I've got my blog on there, and we're just about to start, really excited, a podcast. So I'll be launching that in a couple of weeks, but I'll keep in touch with you and let you know when that.
We'll look out for it. I had a look earlier on the My Curry Potty, and it is so cute, guys. You have to go and have a look. Like the little toilet seats and the stickers.
We got one.
Yeah, they're so cute. Yeah, how lovely.
That's another thing as well. I developed the Carry Potty as a training potty, so you use it in the house and out the house. They use one potty, which will make it so much easier. Consistency, and the matching seat I designed specifically so the child is familiar with the color and the design, so from the transition from potty to toilet makes it a lot easier as well.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we'll share all of this with our parents, and hopefully we'll see you very soon.
Yeah, I'll be coming over next year to meet you all.
Great. Thanks, Amanda.
Thank you.